Hello, friends. How are you today? I'm going to be talking a little bit about engagement. Employee engagement is one of those terms that um, it may not be clearly understandable by everyone, but it's one of those terms, one of those words that we're all familiar with. Employee engagement. What is it, and how can you get more of it for your organization? Is really the ultimate question that we want to answer. So, employee engagement is that extra discretionary energy that an employee brings to the role that they perform for an organization. And so, when you think about engagement, the more engaged an employee is in what they're doing, the more energy they bring to the table, the more focused they are in contributing and delivering an outcome that you're looking for from an organizational standpoint. And so when you look at engagement statistics across the nation right now, you see figures like 60 to 70% of the total workforce are disengaged. What does that mean? When someone's disengaged, it means they're only doing enough just to get by and still collect a paycheck without getting in trouble. And so we have a lot of disengagement in our workforce. And what does that mean? Well, it means that employees aren't happy with what they're doing. They're not focused on the results. They're just doing what they think they have to do without getting in trouble. And so, from an organizational standpoint, from a leadership standpoint, what aren't you getting out of your employees? Well, you're not getting all that you paid for in terms of that employee because they're only doing just enough to get by. And so, some of the things that we want to think about as it relates to employee engagement, there's three things that I want to cover. Meet them where they are. So meet your employees where they are in order to bring them along to where you want them to be. All too often, supervisors and leaders see and assess their employees and recognizing the deficits, they don't necessarily go to where they are to build them to where they want to be. They primarily use that information for purposes of judgment, for purposes of punishment. And that's just not going to get the employee to where you want them to be. So it doesn't benefit the leaders in any way, shape, or form to be judging employees in terms of where they are currently um, and seeing the gap and then not providing the resources to close that gap. Number two that we want to focus on is expressing a personal interest in the employee and who they are, not just what they can do. So that focus on the person uh, in and of themselves, the energy and the engagement that is elicited from paying attention to that employee, not just from their professional role, but who are they as a person? What really inspires them? What engages them? What trips their trigger? By focusing on not just their professional goals, but their employee goals, you can also elicit greater and greater engagement. And so that brings us to our third level, is supporting employees' goals, both personally and professionally. And so when you recognize that employees have a life outside of work, that they may have some personal goals that they might want to obtain, as a leader of an organization, if you were enabled or enabling these employees to be able to do the things that they had dreamt about for years and years, things that would benefit their family, things that would benefit them personally, things that would help support their other goals outside of the organization. Imagine the extra energy that that employee brings to the table when they're performing their professional role, knowing that they're well supported, not just as a professional, but as a person. So those are the three engagement things that I want you to think about this week as you go about your work. Is how can you meet your employees where they are in order to bring them along to where you want them to be. Another aspect is expressing a personal interest in who they are and not just what they can do. And then finally, how can you support employees' personal goals as well as professional goals, knowing that focus on both areas is going to inspire the employee to give that extra discretionary energy that you're looking for in an engaged employee. So those are 3 tips on rules of engagement and how you can get greater employee engagement for your organization and all the wonderful benefits that come along with it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you would like to hear a little bit more, please feel free to follow me. I'm Ryan McShane, and this is HR Evolution. Have a great day.